Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. So today I'm going to be doing a review of a new product, and this is the new Fitglow Beauty Concealer. And this product was released just a couple weeks ago, and I kind of contemplated purchasing it for a while, but as always I was really nervous that the fairest shade in the concealer would not be fair enough for me. But then eventually Safe and Chic did have a sale on Fitglow Beauty, and so when they were having that sale, I decided to pick up the concealer. And so I do have the concealer in C1. I'm gonna swatch it for you. So here it is swatched on my hand. As you can see, this is actually a fair enough shade. Like, it is a bit lighter than my skin tone, and it is a rather pink concealer, so that was my first concern when I saw it. But when I get it kind of rubbed out onto my skin, it's not as pink. And when I apply it under my eyes, it works well. Some concealers are just way too pink. The Hint Beauty Duet Concealer in Fair is too pink for me. The Zuzu Luxe Concealer, the lightest shade of that concealer, is too pink as well. But this one is a little bit pink, but not too pink. Hopefully that makes sense. So first off, I'm going to show you a demo of me applying the concealer so you can see how I like to apply it, how it goes on, the coverage I can get from it, how I blend it out, etc. So what I like to do is I like to apply the concealer directly under my eyes using the doe foot applicator. And then I like to take a damp beauty sponge to blend out the concealer. And I don't really use damp beauty sponges. I used to use them more, but I've kind of moved away from them. However, I was having issues blending out this concealer. I tried blending it out with my fingers, which is the normal way that I apply my Alima Pure Cream Concealer, and that really wasn't working well. I also tried a brush, and that wasn't working that well, but the damp beauty sponge does work extremely well to blend out this concealer. The concealer is a little bit tackier in consistency, and so I find that using a damp beauty sponge really helps to actually get it blended out. So it's not as creamy, for instance, as the Alima Pure Cream Concealer, so using the damp sponge really does help to get this blended out. And as you can see, it is really brightening under my eyes. Like, I had some pretty dark circles under my eyes before applying this concealer, and once I apply it, like, they're very well concealed. I wasn't doing any color correcting, I was only using the concealer. And I really like how it looks after I just apply it. However, the issue I have is that this concealer does crease on me. And I've tried a number of different ways to try and counteract the creasing. I set all my under eye concealers with the RMS Unpowder, and I tried that with this one. I was still getting creasing. I've started baking once again with the RMS Unpowder. So by baking, I've been packing on the RMS Unpowder on top of the concealer with my damp beauty sponge to really lock everything in place, and then dusting off the excess powder afterwards. And that is not perfect in terms of preventing creasing, but it is the most effective way I have found to prevent creasing with this concealer. What are some of my thoughts on this? So first off, I really do like the packaging of this concealer. The packaging is beautiful and really does remind me of a conventional concealer. It's got this silver top. I just love the way the packaging looks, and I like silver, so this is, as you can tell, I always wear silver jewelry, and I really do like the silver packaging on it, and it has the doe foot applicator, and so that makes it really easy to actually get the product out and apply it. And I'm going to try and show you down inside the tube here. If you can see, there's like a little hole inside the larger opening of the tube. And what that little hole actually does is help you not pull out too much product on the doe foot applicator. It kind of controls the amount of product that comes out of the tube. It helps you avoid wasting product and getting too much out. This concealer honestly and truly reminds me the most of conventional concealers. I used to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. It's the NARS concealer that comes in it comes in a package similar to this with a doe foot applicator. And I used to use that as my go-to concealer for concealing acne, for concealing under my eyes. It was just my overall concealer. And I really did like that, and I kind of missed having a similar concealer in Green and Eco Beauty. This one does have really great coverage. Like, as you can see, it is super brightening, super great coverage. I can use it on acne spots, but I find the coverage of my Hint Beauty Duet Concealer to be a little bit greater than this one. I think this one works so well under my eyes because it's so brightening, but the Hint Beauty Duet Concealer really just gives me that full coverage. So I have tried it on my acne spots, and I will say that it will work, but if you want them to be like completely erased, like you do not see them at all, the Hint Beauty Duet Concealer is better for that than this one. I did find, similarly as for blending out under my eyes, that using the damp sponge to blend the concealer out on acne spots was also the most effective way to get those concealed and blended as well. My con for this, as I have kind of mentioned, is the creasing. And I have a couple thoughts on this. First off, I have oily skin. So like basically everywhere on my face is oily, especially during the summer. And I don't know if part of the reason why I'm having so many issues with this concealer creasing is the fact that I have been trying it out during some of the hottest days this summer. Like it has been hitting over 90 consistently for really for the time that I have been trying out this concealer. So my skin has been really oily. So just keep that in mind, that that is probably contributing to why I'm having problems with it creasing. I suspect that if I were to try this concealer during the winter, I would have less of an issue with creasing. I am still having more creasing with this than I do with my Alima Pure Cream Concealer when I just set that concealer with the RMS unpowder. I don't even need to bake that concealer, but this concealer I really do have to bake. Otherwise, I'm going to start having really serious issues with creasing. Even when I bake, to set this concealer, it still does crease. But honestly, I think this is more brightening and a little bit more full coverage than my Alima Pure Cream Concealer in Pearl. That so far had been kind of the most brightening under eye concealer that I'd used, and this one I think is even more brightening. And I do really like that about it. I like how awake it makes me look. I like how my dark circles really are erased. Another negative of this concealer is I believe it only comes in 5 shades. Like the shade range is just entirely inadequate. And unfortunately, a lot of the shades are focused towards the lighter end of the shade spectrum, and there's really not many deeper shades, which is really unfortunate. And Fitglow has the same problem with their foundation as well, where there aren't a ton of shades, and the shades that they do have are kind of focused towards lighter skin tones. So the other thing I don't love about this concealer is the scent of it. So this concealer, I believe they didn't actually put any, I'm gonna call it fragrance, but I don't mean like fragrance in the sense of conventional fragrance. But they didn't put any ingredients in that really affect the smell of it. It doesn't have a nice scent. It's just kind of a blah scent because there's nothing actually contributing to the scent of it. And I do appreciate that in a way because you are putting this product under your eyes, and so it's really nice to have a product that doesn't have much of a scent because you're putting it in your eye area and your eye area is very sensitive. But at the same point, because there's nothing actually adding a scent to this product, the actual scent of it just from the ingredients in it is not super pleasant. So I don't love that either. So that is a con for me. Overall, I'm really mixed. I love the coverage. I love the way it brightens under my eyes, but I don't love the creasing. And also because of the consistency of it, it's like a tackier consistency, which does just inherently make it harder to blend out. And so I have to get a damp beauty sponge in order to blend it out. Blending it out with my fingers or with a brush, which is how I would normally do it, just doesn't cut it for this concealer. So to me, it is a more high maintenance concealer. It's one that I have to blend out with a damp beauty sponge. It's one I have to bake in order to set. But I really do like the look of the brightness it gives me under my eyes. So I would weigh that all out when considering if you're interested in this concealer. If you have it and are having problems blending it out, get out a damp beauty sponge and try blending it out that way. That really did make a world of difference for me, because at first I was like, I can't get this concealer to blend out. But then when I got my damp beauty sponge, it started blending a lot better. And also, if you're not that prone to creasing, if you have drier under eyes, I think this could be good. I think I might just be struggling with it a little bit because my skin is so oily. And the other really nice thing about Fitglow, and I do appreciate this about this product, is Fitglow really does formulate their cosmetics to be skincare as well as cosmetics. And so I really like that about this product, that I'm also putting on a product that's very good for my eye area, actually skincare, not just makeup. And so I think especially when you're worried about fine lines and wrinkles forming around the eyes, having a product like this that you're putting on every day can be a really good way to combat any signs of aging around the eyes. It is a $42 concealer, so it is a quite expensive concealer, but you are getting nice packaging and a pretty full coverage product. You're getting skincare benefits. But for me, I still struggle with creasing, and depending on your skin tone, you may have problems finding a concealer in your shade. Also, this is cruelty-free, but I am not sure if it is vegan or not. Every website I looked on, none of them listed if it was vegan, so I'm not sure on that, but it is a cruelty-free product. I would just take all of this into consideration when making your decision. Like, you saw the demo, you saw what it looked like, you saw what it did for me, but you also know that I struggle with creasing, so it's a mixed bag for me. And if the price were lower, I think I would have an easier time saying like, yes, it's totally worth it, but because it is $42, I really don't want my $42 concealer to crease on me. Though I am going to be interested to see, like I said, as we move into fall and winter, if I still have as much of a creasing problem. I will let you guys know in the future when the weather cools back down what is going on with this concealer. So definitely stay tuned for that. But hopefully all of these thoughts helped you to kind of form an opinion on the concealer and help you decide if it's something that you're interested in purchasing or you're going to pass on. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on this concealer. Especially let me know seeing the demo, like what did you think of it? Because sometimes I feel like you can see better in the video how a product is working than I can. Like you can see really if it brightens my eyes or conceals my dark circles. So let me know all that in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to hit the bell button so you're notified of when I post new videos. And check out my Instagram. I always have lots of fun posts on there. I'll have my handle down below. I'm at naturallybeautifulgirl. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.